Hello and welcome back to the 4th episode of modding the Pizzeria Roleplay Remastered. Today we're going to be going over adding your own character to the menu, not just modifying ones that already exist in the game, adding new categories, and adding characters to the Old Man Consequences shop. So to get right into it, let's open up Animating Data. This is the script where everything related to characters, the categories they belong to, and Old Man Consequences related things are stored, including other stuff like stuff you can buy at the plushie store, things like that. So immediately there's this variable called categories. If you remember the scripting episode, this should look pretty familiar to you. Everything in the categories array is a bunch of values. There are arrays here which represent categories as a whole and include the name of the category and the animatronics that are in the category. So let's go down to a category that I added. It's called New Characters, and it includes a character I made called Stickman. So as you can see, this category comes right after the Holidays category. It has a unique name, that is New Characters, and it has an animatronic list value, which inside of it has a single string Stickman. Let's see what this looks like in the game. As you can see, I added a random image from the catalog as his character image, and I just added a random description. You know, I didn't really put that much effort into the character, just a bunch of random stuff I felt like. But as you can see, he was in his unique category, and you can click and spawn. Additionally, if I didn't own Stickman already, I would be able to purchase him as well. Let's create a brand new category showing off how the system works, just to show that we can do that. So I'm just going to copy the Holidays category here. I'm going from this bracket to this bracket down here. If you click before any bracket, then it will highlight the bracket that it's attached to, showing which bracket you need to copy if you want to get the entire table. So I'm going to hit Control-C to copy that. I'm going to press Enter to create a new line, and I'm going to create a new category just like that. So all we have to do to rename this category is just change the name. So let's call it Test Category. You can put in whatever characters you want in here, even characters that are already in other categories. Note that players will not have to rebuy characters that they've already bought from another category. Characters are transferred between categories. So if you wanted some option of, players being able to search up based on different attributes, like you could create a category for just Foxy characters or one that contains all the characters, you could totally do that. So let's put in Foxy in here. And then let's put in Stickman. As you can see, we're over here in the test category. The test category is located right after the Holidays category, since that's where we put it in the list. As you can see, we have Foxy, which, if you remember from the last episode, we renamed to Noob. And we have the Stickman. So let's make our own brand new character. To start off, let's pick a character that has similar attributes to the character that we want to make. So for example, let's say I wanted to make a small character that could spawn other characters. Let's say Freddle. I'm going to hit Control-D to duplicate his folder. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to rename this folder to something completely unique. So let's name it Blue Freddle. You can include spaces, you can include basically any character that can be, read as a string, essentially. So in Blue Freddle, obviously we copied the model and the script from the normal Freddle here. Let's take this model out and just edit it, just for completeness. Let's drag the model back in. Alright, so if you remember from the last episode, we can just edit any of these variables here. Not even the name has to change. The name here is completely separate from the name that we gave the folder that we copied. So we could even call this a bunch of gibberish if we want to. Of course, we can edit the image, anything else you'd want to do. I think I'm going to give the laugh a even higher pitch than I did before, just to separate it from normal Freddle a little bit. And then let's make it so he can spawn 5 Freddles instead of 3 like the other one. So right now our new character, Blue Freddle, isn't going to show up in any of the categories that are already in the game. What we're going to have to do to make it so we can purchase Blue Frettle is we're going to have to add him to one of these categories. So using this new test category that we made, I'm going to make a new entry in the animatronic list where I put in the name on the folder, and I have to do it case sensitively. So I can't do Blue Frettle like this. I'd have to make sure that I capitalize everything correctly. As you can see, we have our Blue Frettle, the random name loaded, the name is arbitrary, description's there, all the abilities are also there. Alright, so now we have Blue Frettle here. So what if you want to add your character to the Old Man Consequences shop? Well, there's a few things we need to make sure that we set about the animatronic data before we do any of that. So going into Blue Frettle here, we're going to want to add a new variable called use tickets. We're also going to want to add another variable called locked and set that to true. Use tickets here will make it so that when you purchase the character, it will deduct from your ticket count rather than your Faz token count. Locked will make it so that you cannot purchase the character within the normal animatronic selection menu. For now, let's also lower the price of this character to 5, just because why not? We do not have to move the character to the Old Man Consequences category, although you can if you want to. So scrolling down in the actual animatronic data script, we're going to find another array called OMC shop data. So if you look through here, this is going to include the IDs of all the animatronics, that are in the animatronics folder, and then it's going to have a quote that OMC says, like a description, sort of. So just like the selection menu here, there are different categories for the Old Man Consequences shop. So here we have one called official non-canon characters. We scroll down here, fan games, miscellaneous, fan submitted characters. So let's make a new category just by copying this array. Let's rename this category to modded characters. And then in animatronics here, we change the animatronic ID to Blue Frettle, which was the animatronic ID of our new character. And then we could change the quote that OMC says as like a description to something else. Like, this is a blue version of a Frettle. Why would someone make this? Alright, so we're over in the Old Man Consequences shop. Let's go into here. So look over here, we have a new category called modded characters. Of course, we already own him, so we can't buy him. But if we didn't own him, we would be able to. So that's going to conclude this episode on creating new characters and adding them to the OMC shop. I hope you enjoyed.